Hi, my name is Diana Salina. I am an actress. I am half English, half Italian. I live in New York City, and thanks for watching my interview today.
Hey, I'm James McDougall.
I'm Lexi Grabowski.
I'm Sarah Flint.
I'm Briar Knowles.
My name is Jessica Malka.
I'm Leanne Johnson.
My name is Erin Michelle Soto.
My name is Rachel.
I'm Kate Schroeder.
It's Alaska Lee.
I'm Megan Hemingway.
I'm Rebecca Amsalag.
I'm Trish Renoni. I'm an actor.
And I'm an actor.
I'm an actress.
And I'm an actress.
I'm an actor, a writer.
Writer, actress.
An actor, producer.
I am a model actress.
An actor, singer-songwriter.
I'm an actor based in Toronto, Canada.
I'm an actress based in New York City.
I'm an actor and musician. I am an actress based in Toronto, and I want to thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for tuning in to the Chat with Dan show.
Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have on the show, what can I say? The incredible, amazing, badass, the superstar, the legendary Diana. Diana, how are you today?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What better way to have an incredible morning than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
I love that. Thanks for the support.
Every time. Now, before we start, I do want to thank those who are watching this. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. Let me know what you think. Without further more, let's jump in. Now, for those who don't know who is incredible, amazing, badass superstar Diana, please tell us who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Salina. I am an actress, and I am half Italian, half English, and I live in New York City.
Thank you. I love it. Now, let's get back in time and tell me where the dream started. What triggered it?
Okay, so the dream started a very, very long time ago. I was 4 years old. I was living in London. And I started taking acting schools, like courses as a kid, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I was like, wow, I really want to continue doing this. And so I did. I did for a long time in England, and then I jumped back and forth all my life between Italy and England. So at the age of 7, I moved back to Italy, and I took acting courses there at a school called Centro Teatro Attivo for about 8 years, and always did shows. Then I moved back to England at 15, and I continued. Then I studied in England, still in university at Bristol, but I studied politics and French literature. And I also had a year abroad in France throughout my time there. So I was sort of pursuing a more of a traditional career, put it that way. And the acting side of it was always there, but it always felt like something on the side. So I loved doing it, but I kind of had a bit of a chip on my shoulder because I wasn't pursuing what I really wanted to do fully. Sort of probably most likely out of fear of doing something which is so risky. So after graduating in a traditional way, COVID hit, and COVID was a massive blessing for me in a way, because by being shut out from the rest of the world, I had the opportunity to think and to sort of sit down and stop for a minute. And I did. And I was like, I asked myself the question, what am I doing? What do I really want to do with my life? I felt like I was too old to make a change at 21, 22. I always felt the pressure of going into a traditional route and following that linear path. And so my dream was to come to New York and to fully pursue acting as an actor, become an actor, be an actor, work as an actor. And so I applied to a bunch of schools, and I won a scholarship for the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute. So I got my conservatory from there last year, and ever since I've been working as an actor full on. That's my full-time job, and so I never thought I could get to this point, to be honest, but here we are.
What can I say? That's awesome. That's badass. And tell me, how was the whole transition of moving from Europe to the US? How was the first couple months, let's say?
Oh, it was amazing. It it wasn't a culture shock. I it's funny. I still have a piece of paper from when I was 6 years old of all the things I wanted in my life at the time. And one of the things was specifically to move to New York. I mean, I've been lucky enough to sort of live in many different cities. I've lived in London and Milan and Paris and Bristol, and so moving to New York obviously is different. I don't think there's anywhere in the world which is quite like this place. A day here feels like, I don't know, a year anywhere else. So it's just incredible. But it was pretty smooth. I guess the only hassle of New York when you first move here is finding a place.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That
yeah.
is great.
I
It's
can
just like
understand that.
woo, not fun, all unfurnished, going around Facebook Market, buying tables, chairs, whatever you find. It's fun, but it's stressful. So that was the challenging part, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the same time, there's prices for everything. I mean, you can, a budget for everything, but because there is a lot of everything, it tends to get a little bit stressing because you're gonna check here and then there and then there and then there and then there. Yeah, I can understand that. Now, moving on here, tell me, like, once you decided, that you want to make this, you want to make acting as your profession here, what were some of the challenges that you had when you were making into a pro career, let's say?
I mean, self-doubt.
Yeah.
Fear, lack of control over, I think the scariest part of this industry is how unpredictable it is, how you can't control so many things. It's out of your hands. Whereas in other jobs, it's not quite the same. It was mostly that. I've never, when people ask me, are you afraid of auditioning? I'm not. I love it. I really, really love it. And if only, now auditions have mostly transitioned to home auditions and self-tapes. And sure, it's an opportunity to be creative. And to be honest, you're basically like directing yourself, and you're choosing how to be creative. You're a set decorator. You can do whatever you want. But the feeling of being in a room and auditioning with someone in front of you and getting that energy from them is it's scary, but it's a good scary. It's a buzz, it's energy. For me, the fear before transitioning to this was really not knowing. Not knowing what's next. What are you doing in 3 months? Because you don't know. You can try applying to a bunch of things, but you don't know. And the beauty of it is, of all of this journey, of this career, whatever your stage is, wherever you are, whether you're starting out, whether you're a big star, is specifically how unpredictable it is, and how you get gigs in the most random way sometimes, by meeting someone in a bar who is interested in your path or your looks or whatever it is, your accent, and you're like, whoa, I didn't have to necessarily apply on the website, through here, through there, like a LinkedIn kind of situation. So it's I think you have to embrace what initially I thought was pure fear, that specifically how unpredictable it is. So that's, you have to flip your way of thinking, I guess.
Yeah. And now that you mentioned the whole audition and self-tape, tell me how you handle the whole rejection side.
I mean, what can I do? what can I do? With self-tape, you don't even know if the casting director has seen it. You'd hope they'd watch your tape, but you don't know how they react to it, how they react to the video. I think the most difficult part of the whole self-tape or auditioning in person, more so on the self-tape side, is that you don't get feedback. And feedback is crucial because you want to know what you can do better the next time. What can I bring to improve myself as an actor? And what can I do better? Maybe things that I'm not aware of. When you're in the room, I still think you can read body language. They may not voice it, they may not voice what they think of you, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah, but
can
you
see
can
it
tell.
from both eyes. You
Mhm.
can tell.
Yeah, you can
You
tell.
feel it, and then maybe you're like, oh my god, that went really, really well, and then they pick someone else, and then what are you going to do about that? Nothing. Like
Yeah.
maybe you can ask your agent and say, is it possible to get any feedback from the casting director? It's unlikely they do. So I got a rejection. I got to a final stage of a very big production in December, and I was gutted. I didn't get it, but I was at the very, very last round, and I thought I had it. I didn't. But I of course I was devastated. I did go through a bit of a rough patch
Yeah.
after that, but other things came, other projects came.
There you go. Yeah, I mean it's impossible. I mean, regardless of how positive you are, and whenever you get rejected, it's impossible not to feel like a little bit bummed out, like, ah, shit.
I mean,
You know,
naturally, I mean, we're human, right? Like, it's
totally.
not like I can't. If people get it from, sending in a CV on a normal job, imagine when you put your emotions out there.
Yeah,
It's very personal. This is why I think this job is not for everyone. You really have to expose your vulnerability.
totally.
And I don't think a lot of people like doing that.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, tell me, like, how you manage to prepare a character. Now, of course, I understand that depends on the role, but what is your initial approach before start this whole journey?
I mean, the first thing is reading, script analysis. The more you read the script and the way your character speaks, I think that alone is incredibly informative. The writing is fundamental, understanding your character's needs and how they communicate and their background. One of the ways I approach all of my characters, and I did this even before sort of professionally training at Strasbourg. I didn't have a name for it, but I did it before, which was funny, was sort of acting out scenes in between moments that are not written in the script, because it's very informative. You discover things about your character that ultimately you make a decision, right? It's you who chooses whether you want to implement them or not. But you find things, mannerisms in a moment where, say, between scene A and scene B, your character goes to the supermarket. And so I improvise a moment of me walking to the supermarket. Who do I meet? Who do I see? What do I... So that's one of my favorite ways of working on a character. Another thing that really matters to me is actually clothing. I'm very attached to fashion, and I find that it's a strong way to manifest how I feel, what I wear, how I present myself. And so I think it informs a lot about how you carry yourself as an individual, what you wear. And so with clothing too, whether it's in a film, less so in theatre, it's more difficult because theatre is often more minimalistic. But even so, even in the theatre, I always ask about shoes. I mean, think about it, like how different people walk when they wear a pair of cowboy boots compared to sandals or I don't know, flip-flops, you name it. It's just a different way of carrying yourself. So I think it also comes with a sort of feeling of how confident are you in, imagine I had to play a homeless guy. Isn't clothing fundamental? Am I naked? Do I only have a t-shirt on? Do I have 5 layers that are broken on? How homeless am I? Do I wear socks, sandals, socks and sandals? Do you know what I mean? And like, so that's another thing that really helps me inform me on who am I? What am I doing? How do I feel in my skin? So these are a few things that I always think of.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole other journey besides just learning your lines, or some people might think, right? That acting is just learning your lines. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of
and I love
course.
the fact that every actor has like their own thing. You know that there is no specific manual of how to create a character, which at the same time gives the opportunity to new actors to feel like more relaxed, to be like, okay, so I could take pieces from everyone here and there, but at the end I need to create my own thing, which I think that makes it like more original, right?
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. I think it's also amazing when you have a good director
Totally.
and there's that sort of collaborative process and seeing how open the director is to your ideas and
Yeah.
finding things together, and maybe he or she will introduce you to something which you didn't even know of, whether it's a class or I don't know, trying something. That's why so many people want to be actors, I think,
Yeah.
because the experience you get from it is so new. It's
Yeah.
like living a new every time.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And also the fact that you get to experience everything, from doctor
Exactly.
to, I don't know, police to homeless to even alien, like things like that, that you get to experience so
Anything
many stuff.
surreal.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love it. And tell me, do you take home your characters? And has that ever affected you in a negative way?
Um, honestly, no. I I take them home when I finish a production.
Okay.
I sometimes feel like they're still with me. Um, I guess I noticed myself walking a bit like my character. I shot this feature film in October, which is currently in post-production, and they gave me this pair of big boots, which I had to break into. I had blisters for the whole shoot. It was a nightmare. And I was shooting for a month, and
Yeah.
then every day it was intense. And then when I flew back to New York, I couldn't take those shoes off. And my friend's like, Diana, what are you doing? Like, why are you wearing these heavy boots? Like, and I was like, no, I just leave me alone. Um, and it does live inside of you for sure
Totally.
when you're performing. I think it's a matter of, you're one of the good things about going to school, I think, is that when, especially for, I think, specific moments, specific scenes, or specific characters who might have to go through like, strong emotional turmoil, like super colorful moments. One of the things they teach you is how to get out of it
Mm-hmm.
right after. And it's a matter of finding awareness, developing awareness of where you are right now. For me, Diana, in the moment, it's about, okay, let go of that environment you just built in your head. Look at the wall, look at the ceiling, make a big sound, big ha sound. You release all this energy that's inside of you. So that's one of the ways you kind of get it out of your system.
Totally.
It can be dangerous sometimes, you to be in it, in that character so strongly. So it's good to know how to come out of it, how to be to yourself and teach yourself how to come out of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, at the end, your body can tell the difference, right? Even though that you are kind of playing it in a safe space, and you know that you're acting, your body can tell the difference, right? So I can understand sometimes how can sometimes can take you to the extra mile, let's say.
For sure. For sure.
Okay. And tell me, that one day, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now here's the catch. I don't know anything about it. I mean, zero experience. So based on what you know, what do you think it would be a good place for me to start?
I think that's a very good question. I think it's such a case by case scenario. This might be a bit controversial, but I don't think that drama school is necessary. I think sometimes drama school can actually get in the way. It can become a bit intellectual, because ultimately acting is human behavior. It's as simple as that. if you're it's this sounds contradicting, but if you're acting as an actor, you failed. You want to feel it truthfully. You want to be that person. You want. I believe that when you're cast for something, it's because they cast me as Diana who brings something to this character. And what I'm doing is I'm discovering different layers of myself as I'm performing that character, being someone. So I think what I would do, obviously it depends on the person, but is get to know yourself. First thing, you need to know who you are, why you're here, what you want to do, what do you like, what do people think of you, all of these sort of existentialist questions. And then I would observe human behavior. I would walk around, and I mean, if you live in a city like New York City, you don't really have to make that much of an effort. Honestly, the things you see here, just catch a subway train, and I think you've learned more in 2 stops than a year somewhere else. But observe human behavior. How do people talk? How do people move? How do people listen? And listening is such a crucial exercise. Sometimes when you're working with a scene partner, I mean, this is like a worst case scenario, but it can happen that the other character isn't listening to you. And if you don't allow yourself to listen, you're not allowing yourself to react. And therefore you're not really in the moment, and therefore you're not living truthfully. So it's a bit of a spiral. These are the things I would do. I would live, and then on the more sort of technical side of things, sure, take a class, see how that feels. Put yourself out there, especially if you're afraid of putting. A lot of actors are actually quite shy as human beings, and then they get on stage and they do the most incredible things. That's really my case. I'm more of an extrovert, so I've always liked the limelight, put it that way, and the spotlight. But take a class, see how it feels. Obviously, in a more professional environment, it's more serious, so people will naturally take you more seriously when you're performing in the moment. So these are a few things I would definitely do, and then see where that takes you.
I'll take that into consideration. I'll tell you what, if I become an actor, once I win an Oscar for Best Actor at some point, I'll be mentioning you in my thank you speech. You got this.
What an honor. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love it. How can you distinguish, or let me rephrase, like how you manage to find out a good school and not a very good school? Because I mean, right now with the internet, it's easy, right, to find incredible acting schools no matter where you are, but at the same time you get the chance to find not very cool, like a little bit of legal stuff, you know what I mean, or crappy ones.
I mean that's a good question. I think that makes sense. I think I use this a bit as a rule of thumb. I think I would give the same piece of advice to someone who's doing a sort of 9-to-5 job too. I would if I can, firstly, I would go there and I would visit the school. I would get a general feel for where I am. What does this feel like? What energy is it carrying? Do I like it? Do I like walking in these rooms? Are people looking at me? Do I feel like I feel good walking through these corridors? That's one thing. Then I would send a million emails, or even through Instagram. You find people attending a specific school so easily these days. Ask them, have a conversation with them, ask them what it feels like to study in that school. Do they like it? Do they like the culture? Do they like the process? Are there specific teachers they recommend? I remember before going to Strasbourg, I messaged so many girls and boys, like so many, but it was worth it. And ultimately, sometimes you get a pattern, other times you get very personal, and that's why sometimes asking too many questions can be problematic, because you get too many opinions and then you're like, oh my god, what am I going to do? It's sometimes to follow your gut, but definitely asking questions, getting a feel for it, and researching the teachers, the history of the school, the method. What do you find more appealing? And if you can, if the school offers it, take a workshop, take a session, see if that's something you like.
There you go. All right. And tell me, what has been your toughest moment as an actor so far?
Having faith when there's nothing on the roster for you. And by that I mean it can happen that you wake up one morning and there's nothing for you to do. And you're surrounded by people who are going to go to work that morning, and they're going to come back at 6 p.m. and they're going to have dinner and go to bed.
Yeah.
And you might not have that. And it's not a very comfortable feeling. A, because you're used to seeing other people do the exact opposite. And B, it depends on your personality. I have a hard time not doing anything. So it's about finding things you can do to improve yourself, improve your craft, or looking into different things. For example, I'm now also taking a stand-up comedy course. I never thought I'd do that. Every Wednesday night I do this, and it's teaching me other things about me. It's hard, but trying out different things, or writing, or emailing people to ask them to, assist in a production. All of these little things, it requires a lot of proactiveness. It's like being an actor is always looking for a job. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're looking for a job every day. It's hardcore.
No, yeah, absolutely, because you're basically living by paycheck. You can get let's say you get a role right now, and then you could get another one for 2 months. So you need to make sure that paycheck you got for the first one, you can extend it as much as you can, or things like that. I can understand how how stressful and a little bit of a pain in the butt can be sometimes. Now let's say, that one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, I mean, you name it, they call you and they tell you they have this idea, which goes, they're gonna make a film based on all of the characters you have played at the moment. So all of those characters, they're all gonna gather to celebrate your birthday. But here's the thing: the film needs a name. So what will be the title of it?
Oh my God. Eclectic mashup.
I'll take it. All right. What about describing your whole career so far, but this time on a drink?
It would be an invented drink. It would be a spicy Manhattan roller coaster. Drink that represents the ups and downs of the career of an actor, as well as my fiery personality, symbolized by the spice.
There you go.
And the fact that I live in New York. Yeah, a spicy Manhattan roller coaster.
There you go. I'll take that. I'll be drinking that just to see what the fuss is about. Let's see what happens. If the next morning I wake up barely dying, then I would say, okay, that was a tough ride, Or if I taste it, be like, whoa, this is strong. Then I can understand why you're current. Be like, I can understand her now. I love it. Now, what motivates you? We all have those days that we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you manage to, to get back up as soon as you started to feel like that? How you manage to be back up and continue on this, on this journey?
I remind myself about how I feel when I perform.
Okay.
So I look back at it's funny, I look back at photos. I do this all the time. I look back at photos of me and my castmates of a specific production, whether it's a play or a film or whatever. And if it was a good one, I try and remind myself of how that felt, how alive I felt in that specific moment. And I remind myself that that's how I want to feel. And naturally, on every production, you're gonna have different feelings because you're engaging with different people all the time. But I know that performing is something which there's nothing that makes me feel quite as alive as being on stage. I really feel like my blood flowing. You can absorb. It's so fascinating. Like you can feel what kind of audience you have every night without knowing them, without speaking to them. You can instinctively not judge, but you can instinctively feel whether you have an audience that is engaged or not engaged or intelligent or it's mind-blowing. So I remind myself of all these feelings because I feel like sometimes you can forget about it if you're focusing solely on the business side of things, on booking that job. And ironically, the whole creative side of things suddenly disappears because you're focusing on apply. Yeah.
So basically, enjoy life, enjoy the ride.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's part of it, right? I mean, it's part of it.
For sure. I mean, having a more of a relaxed attitude is definitely something which I have to teach myself, and I'm trying to teach myself every day because you kind of get what you give always. So if you're giving off bad vibes, you're not going to get good vibes back. If you're stressed out, if you're anxious, people feel it. Everyone feels it. So people will be less engaged, less willing to work with you.
Yeah.
And so certainly enjoying the ride is hard sometimes, but a fundamental part of it.
Yes. The other day I was having this conversation in which we were talking about don't focus on the destination, but enjoy the whole experience of it. You're gonna need all of that experience, because if you focus only on the destination, I mean, you're not gonna be able to kind of learn from those experiences that took you there. You know what I mean? And at some point, this is gonna taste different.
I mean, it's good to have goals, but I also feel like by trying to achieve your goals, sometimes your goals change.
Yeah.
You might not actually know yet if that specific goal is something you truly want, especially if it's something which is so far, or it feels far, or is kind of abstract, or it could entirely change. Entirely.
Yeah.
So accepting that too is important, I think.
There you go. And let's say that we're gonna make a film about the episode we just did right now, right? But here's the thing. We need a title. So what would be the title of this film?
It would be Face to Face.
I love it, because that's going to be the title of this video. So we got it.
Yes.
Face
Did
to
I
face.
just inspire you?
Yeah, we got it now.
Face to Face. There we go.
Boom. Love it. Love it. And my last question. What can we expect from you in the future? Hit it.
Well, expect is a wrong word. I guess what you can expect is that I will continue doing this. That's for sure. That's guaranteed. I can't promise any specific. I mean, I am doing a play in July. I'm doing a Jean-Paul Sartre play called No Exit, or Huis Clos, and I play the leading role of Inez. It's about 3 characters who are in hell. So that's running at the Producers Club in New York City from the 19th of July to the 23rd. So that's one thing. But what can you expect? I mean, yeah, definitely that you'll still find me hustling. And hopefully not only in one place. Hopefully I'll have the opportunity to use my background to work in Italy and in England and in the States and in France and in Spain, and I'd learn Japanese if I had to.
I love it.
So that's I hope that's where eventually I'll be able to go.
And yeah, I'll take it. And you know what? I'm sure that's gonna happen. The reason is because I mean you're super badass, but also because you're super talented. And I love the fact that you're doing it because it makes you happy. You know, it's your passion, as we were spoken before, and we all know that following something that makes you that makes you happy, that makes you worth, let's say, it tends to be like a pain in the butt, you know, and stressful and you know all of that, but you're making it happen. I mean, you have basically traveled from different continents here and there to make it happen, so that's pretty badass. I mean, that's why I said in the beginning, I was like, you know what, she's a total badass, and we're gonna find out why. And I guess we just did, so I love that. Also, I want to thank those who watched this. Thank you so much. Now on the description below, you're gonna find all of Diana's social media. Let's follow her, let's make her viral. # Team Diana, because she's incredible here. And again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making this happen. Keep killing it, but most important, keep being this incredible, amazing, a badass, a legendary person you always are. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you so much, Dan. Have a good day.
All right.